To understand exactly how early humans historically interacted with the world, we have to look at the work of Mircea Eliade. In the mid-20th century, Eliade firmly established himself as a leading historian of religion and a pioneer in comparative mythology. Operating out of the University of Chicago, he built an academic framework that redefined the study of religion in the United States. Prior to Eliade, many academics, heavily influenced by figures like Sigmund Freud, treated religion as a mere psychological byproduct or a social construct. Eliade rejected these reductionist models. He argued we must study religion on its own terms, starting with the ideal homo religiosus, the ideally religious human. This archetype possesses an inherent, universal drive to seek ultimate reality. For homo religiosus, the environment is not a collection of economic resources or social functions. The physical landscape itself is imbued with spiritual significance. To accurately understand our ancient past, sociological or economic lenses are completely insufficient. Religion must be accepted as an autonomous mechanism that early humans used to orient their existence. Eliade's framework begins with a baseline state called profane space. This is a homogeneous, infinite expanse where nothing holds absolute value and no fixed orientation is possible. In this profane reality, life is chaotic and arbitrary. For early humanity, living in a world without center or structure induced a severe psychological crisis. The exact opposite of this chaotic state is the sacred, a realm defined by absolute reality, power, and structure. The moment these two realms collide is called a hierophany. A hierophany is the precise event where the sacred physically manifests itself inside the profane world. During a hierophany, ordinary objects, like a specific tree, a heavy stone, or a flowing river, are completely transformed. They retain their physical form, but become something wholly other. This manifestation is sudden and violent. Piercing the homogeneity of the profane, it provides the fixed point required to organize an infinite, chaotic space. This absolute vertical fixed point established by the hierophany is the axis mundi, or the center of the world. The axis mundi does not stand in isolation. It acts as the anchor from which the rest of the habitable world is structured. The resulting physical structure is an imago mundi, a microcosm of the universe explicitly designed to mirror the divine order on Earth. We see this blueprint across ancient cultures. Babylonian ziggurats were engineered as artificial cosmic mountains, built to physically bridge the earthly and heavenly planes. Similarly, the rock of the temple in Jerusalem was constructed believing its foundations reached deep into the Tehom, the primordial waters of the underworld. This spatial design persisted well past antiquity. The vaulted interiors of Gothic cathedrals act as intentional breaks within the profane geometry of modern cities. For homo religiosus, reality only exists near the axis mundi. Anything residing outside that sacred, ordered boundary is relegated to the terrifying realm of demonic chaos. But space is only one half of the equation. For the ancient mind, profane time induces just as much dread as profane space. Eliade identified this as the terror of history, the intense anxiety caused by a linear, irreversible flow of time. In a strictly linear timeline, human suffering, massacres, and disasters appear entirely random and meaningless. To combat this, archaic societies rejected linear history. They instead oriented themselves toward illud tempus, that time, the mythical, sacred era of origins when the gods first created the cosmos. Religious myths and rituals were not designed as mere stories or symbolic commemorations. They functioned as literal vehicles meant to transport participants directly back into that sacred time. We observe this mechanism in the rituals of Australian Aboriginal peoples, who reenact the events of the dream time to actively merge with their mythical age. By strictly imitating the archetypal acts established by gods or heroes, archaic humans detach themselves from ordinary historical duration. By ritualistically stepping outside of the present moment, ancient cultures successfully destroyed the concept of linear history. They replaced the unpredictable chaos of the present with the static order of their origin. Eliade termed this mechanical conversion of linear history into an endless, repeating cycle, the myth of the eternal return. Cosmogonic rituals, such as ancient New Year ceremonies, execute this by literally reenacting the creation of the universe from scratch. This cycle provides a profound psychological benefit. It allows humanity to wipe the slate clean, erasing past transgressions, sins, and the heavy accumulation of historical traumas. Modern critics often assume cyclical time stifles progress, but Eliade argued the exact opposite. By providing a proven, divine template for action, it empowered individuals to explore unknown territories and build new settlements without the fear of failure. The eternal return functioned as a critical psychological anchor, granting archaic humanity the endurance to survive centuries of historical pressure, famine, and war without falling into nihilism. This raises a critical question about the present. Can contemporary secular humans truly free themselves from the need for sacred space and cyclical time? Eliade's answer is a firm no. He observed that modern humanity remains crypto-religious, camouflaging ancient rituals within secular activities. Modern entertainment functions as our private mythology. The cinema and literature we consume constantly recycle ancient archetypes, like the hero's journey, the fight against the monster, and initiatory ordeals. Even residual cyclical time persists. Global secular New Year celebrations may be stripped of theology, but they still function as an attempt at temporal regeneration. We claim to live in a strictly historical, scientific era, yet our recurring cultural celebrations and reliance on archetypal stories prove that we still operate within the same psychological structures as archaic humanity. Contemporary philosophers have expanded on Eliade's definitions, recognizing that the sacred does not require strict religious theology. It can manifest through secular ultimate concerns. Ideas like the pursuit of liberty, or experiences like deep human love, can phenomenologically function as a modern hierophany. Falling in love sacralizes a specific person. It separates them from the homogeneous mass of humanity, establishing a new, deeply personal axis mundi for the individual. Eliade's grand morphology reveals that human beings are structurally wired to seek an absolute center, to defend themselves against the void of the profane. The search for a sacred center persists as a core function of human consciousness, regardless of how modern or secular a society claims to be.